Hi, my name is Emily Carter. I am 38 years old, and I live in Fort Worth, Texas. This is my story. I never imagined I would learn the truth about my own house from a county office instead of my husband. One simple property search changed my life forever. Michael and I were married for 15 years. We were not rich, but we worked hard. I was an elementary school teacher, and he worked for a construction company. Together, we saved enough money to buy a small 3-bedroom home. It was where we raised our 2 children and planned our future. I loved that house because every room held a memory. For years, I believed Michael and I trusted each other completely. But after his father passed away, everything slowly changed. His younger brother, Ryan, started asking for help all the time. He could never keep a job for long. He borrowed money from family, and every new business idea ended the same way, with more debt. Michael always helped him. At first, I understood. Ryan was family. But then, Michael stopped talking to me about our finances. Whenever I asked about our savings or the mortgage, he would smile and say, "Don't worry, I've got everything under control." I wanted to believe him. Then strange letters started arriving. One came from the county tax office. Another came from a title company. Before I could even read the envelopes, Michael would quickly take them away. "It's nothing important," he always said. His voice sounded nervous, and for the first time in our marriage, I felt something was wrong. Still, I tried to ignore the feeling. Life stayed busy. I packed lunches, helped with homework, and cheered for my son's baseball games. From the outside, we looked like a happy family. Inside, I could feel trust slipping away. One Friday afternoon, I stopped by the county records office. I only needed a copy of a property document for our homeowner's insurance. The clerk searched our address on her computer. Then she looked at me with a confused expression. "Ma'am," she said gently, "did you know there are 3 owners listed on this property?" My heart almost stopped. 3 owners? I knew my name. I knew Michael's. But I already feared who the 3rd name might be. A few minutes later, the clerk handed me a certified copy of the deed. There it was, Emily Carter, Michael Carter, and beneath our names, Ryan Carter, Michael's brother. I stared at the paper, hoping it was a mistake. It wasn't. The clerk explained that the deed had been recorded 8 months earlier. 8 months. For 8 months, someone else's name had been attached to my home, and I knew nothing about it. I folded the papers, thanked the clerk, and walked back to my car. I didn't cry. I simply sat there, holding the documents in my hands. The house I had helped pay for, the house where my children slept every night, no longer felt as safe as it had that morning. I knew only one thing. When Michael came home that evening, I was going to ask him one question, and depending on his answer, our marriage might never be the same again. That evening, after the children went upstairs, I placed the county papers on the kitchen table. Michael walked in, looked at them, and immediately stopped. "Where did you get those?" he asked. "The county records office." He went quiet. I looked him in the eyes. "Why is Ryan's name on our house?" He took a deep breath. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me." He sat down across from me. Ryan needed help getting a business loan. The bank said owning property would make his application stronger. I stared at him. "So you gave him part of our home?" "It was only paperwork," he said. "It wasn't supposed to change anything." "It changed everything," I replied calmly. "You added another owner's name without even telling me. I didn't want to upset you." His words hurt more than I expected. Our home wasn't just a piece of property. It was where we had built our family, and he had made a decision about it without asking me. That night, I barely slept. I kept thinking about every mortgage payment we had made together. Every weekend we spent fixing the house. Every birthday and Christmas our children had celebrated there. Now Michael's brother believed he owned part of those memories. The next morning, I made a decision. I stopped asking Michael for answers. Instead, I called a real estate attorney named Sarah Mitchell. She listened carefully as I explained everything. Then she asked one simple question. "Emily, did you ever sign a document giving Ryan ownership of your home?" "No." "Did anyone ask for your permission?" "Never." She studied the deed for several minutes. Then she smiled. "I think your husband made a serious mistake." She pointed to the paperwork. "Your signature isn't here." I looked closer. She was right. The deed had Michael's signature. It had Ryan's signature. But my name appeared only as an owner, not as someone who had approved the transfer. Sarah explained that because of the way our property was owned and the legal issues involved, there were serious questions about whether Michael could legally add Ryan without my knowledge and consent. "We need to review every document," she said. But this is far from over. For the first time since finding the deed, I felt hope. Over the next week, Sarah collected records from the county, reviewed our mortgage documents, and contacted the title company. The more she investigated, the more problems she found. Michael had never discussed the transfer with me. Several important questions had never been answered before the paperwork was filed. Then, Sarah sent formal legal notices requesting documents and clarification from everyone involved. That evening, Ryan called me 3 times. I didn't answer. A few minutes later, Michael walked into the living room. "Ryan says your lawyer is making this a bigger problem than it needs to be." I looked up calmly. "No, the secret made it a problem. The lawyer is simply finding the truth." For the first time, Michael had nothing to say. He realized this was no longer about excuses. It was about facts. And the facts were finally beginning to speak. A week later, Sarah called me. "Emily, we have everything we need." I met her at her office that afternoon. She placed several documents on the table. "Ryan has signed a statement," she said. "What does it say?" He admitted Michael asked him to let his name be added to the deed. He also admitted he never paid the mortgage, property taxes, or insurance. I nodded quietly. "So he knew the house wasn't really his." Sarah nodded. "He also said he believed you knew about the arrangement." That hurt more than I expected. Michael hadn't just hidden the truth from me. He had let his own brother believe I had agreed. A few days later, our attorneys arranged a meeting. There was no courtroom, no shouting, just a conference room, a stack of documents, and the truth. Ryan looked nervous. "I'm sorry, Emily," he said. "I honestly thought you knew." "I didn't," I answered. He looked at Michael. "You told me everything was legal." Michael lowered his head. "I know," he said quietly. "I made a terrible mistake." Sarah carefully explained the legal problems with the deed and why the transfer could be challenged. After a long discussion, Ryan agreed to sign documents giving up any claim to the house. New paperwork would be filed to correct the county records. I looked at Michael. "I don't want revenge," I said. "I want honesty." He nodded, tears filling his eyes. "I'm sorry. I should have trusted you instead of making decisions behind your back." Those words didn't erase the pain, but they were the first honest words I had heard in a long time. A few weeks later, Sarah called with the news I had been waiting for. "The county records have been corrected," she said. "Ryan's name has officially been removed." I sat on my front porch after the call and looked at the home we had worked so hard to build. It looked exactly the same, but I had changed. I realized something important. The biggest victory wasn't saving the house. It was finding my voice again. Michael and I began marriage counseling. It wasn't easy, and rebuilding trust took time. We agreed that every financial decision would be made together from that day forward. No more secrets, no more hidden paperwork, only honesty. Today, when I walk through my front door, I don't just see walls and windows. I see a reminder that staying calm is not the same as staying silent. I learned that protecting yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. If you're listening to my story and something doesn't feel right in your own life, don't ignore it. Ask questions. Read every document before you sign it. Know your rights. And if you need help, talk to a lawyer before fear makes your decisions for you. You don't have to scream to be strong. You don't have to seek revenge to find justice. Sometimes the strongest words a woman can say are, "Show me the paperwork." Because truth doesn't need to be loud. It only needs a chance to be seen. My name is Emily Carter. This was my story. If my experience helps even one woman protect her home, her future, or her peace, then sharing it was worth it. Thank you for listening. And remember, stay calm. Know your rights. Let the truth speak for itself.